Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night.
I remember the first time I saw Corey. He was in second grade. I'd heard of the new blonde kid who moved to Houston, Texas in the middle of the school year, but hadn't met him yet. I was walking up the hall and he was walking down it towards the cafeteria. I kid you not, he had 4 or 5 kids surrounding him, fighting for his attention, trying to get in his ear. That's an image that'll stick with me forever, because that's who Corey was. He was magnetic. There was just something about him that people were automatically drawn to. This magnetism remained as we grew older and entered high school. I mean, look at how many people are here right now. Some of us haven't seen him in years. Corey didn't ask for popularity. He didn't care about all that stuff. He was just a sincerely good person, and I think people recognize that. Corey was the man, and I'm proud to call him my best friend. Our close group of friends wouldn't have been formed if it weren't for Corey. When we were kids, he thought I was an annoying little dirtball, which I kind of was. And I thought Heath was a little weirdo who collected frogs and whatnot, which he kind of was. But Corey brought us together, and I now consider Heath a brother. Soon Jordan and Dan joined the group, completing the CSC. And that's when the fun really got started. Our adolescent years were something out of a book or out of a movie. Corey's sense of adventure brought us on countless journeys. We would sneak out every weekend, using the power lines of our highway to get from neighborhood to neighborhood, Corey leading the way with some mission in mind. Corey's sense of adventure landed me in a bit of trouble a couple times. One particular instance involved us paintballing cars from his bedroom window, and then fleeing to camp out somewhere when we got caught by the neighbors. I also have countless scars on my legs from jumping fences and running through thorn bushes just trying to keep up with him. But there was a lot more to Corey than his sense of adventure and fun personality. He was genuine. Corey was the first true friend I ever had. We all had play buddies as children, but I mean a real friend. He was the first person I could really talk to. Whether we were philosophizing about the universe or giggling over girls like little schoolboys, he was always fully committed to the conversation. I can't tell you how many hours he was forced to listen to me whine over some crush I had. If I ever needed an ear or a shoulder, he was there. He was able to listen and empathize on an unparalleled level. Corey was the first person I can cry in front of. When Solomon passed, Corey was the person I grieved with. I'm so thankful to have had him there for me in those awful times. He was my crutch. That's what's making this experience so hard. The person who I would normally come to for comfort is the person who's deathly in mourning. But if there's anything I've learned from Corey, it's that an ear and a shoulder go a long way. And while he may not be here to lend me those things, he's left me in the company of others who can, and I'm grateful for that. Corey had a lot on his plate these last few years, and I'm sad to say that we sort of lost touch with one another for the past couple of them. I think he was ashamed of what he was doing, and I think I was ashamed of not being there for him. So we both just kind of drifted along parallel to one another. It sounds weird, but I think the reason we were able to go so long without communicating is because we were so close. I think we both knew that we would one day reconnect, and that's why we didn't fight harder sooner to keep in touch. This theory was validated today. After going almost 2 years without hearing his voice, Corey left me a voicemail about a week ago. I didn't know it was there until a couple of days ago. I finally got up the nerve to listen to it this morning. He told me he loved me, and he hoped to meet up soon. While this reunion may not be possible anymore, Corey is still here. He's here in everything I do. I would not be who I am today if it weren't for Corey. This right here, me standing up in front of you guys, it's a sign of, it's a product of Corey's confidence that he gave me. Corey, you're my best friend. You're my brother. I will think about you every time I look in the mirror. Not for any sentimental reason, because you jacked up my nose in that boxing match.
Such is the way of the world, you can never know just where to put all your faith and how will it grow. Gonna rise up, burning black holes and dark memories. Gonna rise up, turn mistakes into gold. Oh, such is the passage of time, too fast to fold. Suddenly swallowed by signs, lo and behold. Gonna rise up, find my direction magnetically. Gonna rise up, throw down my ace in the hole.
I've known Corey since he was born. I knew the joy his parents, Cindy and Sean, had when they gave birth to a little boy. And I remember how excited Kelly was to have a little brother finally. Corey lived in many places when he was little. Because his dad was in the Army, Corey lived in San Francisco, but then he moved to Fort Riley, Kansas, then Rockville, then Silver Spring, then El Paso, and finally Potomac. But it was here, in this very neighborhood right here, that Corey grew up and found his true home. He made strong friendships as a child, friendships with each one of you that I heard about all those years. I've heard of many of your names over the years. He loved his friends and had great times with them and adventures, and he knew he was loved and accepted by all of you. Well, right now it seems to us that Corey is so far from home, but that's not true. He has reached heaven ahead of the rest of us. Corey knew and accepted God's love, and now he is in a place far better than we can ever imagine. We don't see it with our earthly perspective, but if we could catch a glimpse, we would see him happy, very, very happy, and feeling totally fulfilled and complete. I believe the Lord rescued my dear nephew Corey and called him to his true home in a way that we cannot understand. As it says in Psalm 18, He, the Lord, reached down from on high and took hold of me and drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from my powerful enemy, from my foes who were too strong for me. They confronted me in the day of my disaster, but the Lord was my support. He brought me into a spacious place, and he rescued me because he delighted in me. Well, more than we can ever imagine, the Lord loves Corey, and the Lord is at this very moment delighting in him more than we could ever do here on earth. So what are we to do, those of us who love Corey so much and cannot, in our own finite minds, fathom what has taken place? Well, the psalmist tells us this: Find rest, O my soul, in God alone. My hope comes from him. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress, and I will not be shaken. My salvation and my honor depend on God. He is my mighty rock, my refuge. Trust in him at all times, O people. Pour out your hearts to him, for God is our refuge. The Lord will sustain us in these days of questioning. We just need to call on him, and he will hear our cry. And so it is with me. I will call upon the Lord to comfort me as I wonder why Corey is no longer with us. Yet I will trust that Corey is now safe, secure, and happy in his true home.
I'm Joey Westrick, and I was friends with Corey, and it's really great to see all these people that I haven't seen in a long time. That's just a good feeling that I could say about Corey that hasn't already been said, but I just thought I'd write a little something for him. Thinking back to it, all there were only good times, always the best. There were never any arguments, and disagreements were quickly resolved. You had that signature laugh that I love to hear, and I always try to crack jokes just to hear it again. You appreciated good music and had a deep passion to understand the dynamics of the guitar. We went to middle school together and shot hoops together before first period, but we really didn't become friends until 9th grade when we took our girlfriends on double dates to ice skating and the movies. Those were the golden years. Later on in high school and college, fireworks, camping, and Swains Lock were always a good time and never failed to leave a memory. Being late was your trademark. You were always late to everything, but that's okay. We loved you anyways. Thank you.
Corey Sean O'Donnell, he was a best friend of mine, confidant, and a brother. I mean, he had a golden heart. It's one of the main reasons why we're here, why he touched us. I mean, in his adventurous attitude, I can't tell you how many times he dragged me out of my house. He was just in front of my driveway on our bikes. Just explore. He wanted to explore. And one of my deepest regrets is that he made a plan to bike all the way down from DC, from this park or Cold Spring, one of those two places, straight on our bikes all the way down to DC to the monument. I had work that day, so I couldn't go, and that's something I wish I could have done. Nonetheless, I mean, we had a lot of fun memories as kids. We found places, you know, that we always trekked where nobody's ever trekked before, and it often came out with, like Dean said, cuts and bruises. You know, and he was the most sound kid I ever knew. Everybody looked up to him. He could never tell a lie. I remember the moment he said his first curse word, I believe in 7th or 8th grade. A lot of people were around, and we're just like, and he refused to do it. He always stood his ground. And even though he had a group of people, it's like, come on, just say it, Corey. But he refused. And I truly did actually admire him for that. It was just the type of kid he was. And every day, like, he was the moral example that I always want to follow up to, you know. I would truly miss him.
He then looked down upon his earth and saw your loving face. He put his arms around you and lifted you to rest. His garden must be beautiful, he always takes the best. He knew that you were suffering, he knew you were in pain, and he knew that you would never get well on earth again. He saw your path was difficult, closed your tired eyes. He whispered to you, peace be thine, and gave you wings to fly. When we saw you sleeping, so calm and free of pain, we would not wish you back to earth to suffer once again. You've left us precious memories, your love will be our guide. You live on through your family, you're always by our side. It broke our hearts to lose you, but you did not go alone. For part of us went with you on the day God called you home.
Nothing's pure in the world anymore, and home is one of the few. We'd have a drink outside, maybe running high. We saw a couple men in blue. But to me, it's so damn easy to see my people at home. Well, I've been away, but now I'm back today, and there ain't a place I'd rather go. I feel home when I see them faces that remember my own. I feel home when I'm chilling outside with some people I know. I feel home, and that's just what I feel. Home to me is reality, when all I need is something real. Feeling alright, heading out there tonight, maybe off to a dark driveway. You see now, some feel bored, some are looking for more, but we all just decide to stay. We've got nothing to do, but when I look at you, I see something I know and I love. And just the crack of your smile made me stay for a while. For my home, there's nothing above. In the end, I will always call my friends. There's something that remains to be true. In 1,000 years, after 1,000,000 more tears, I will find my original crew. 'Cause to me, there's nowhere else that I'd rather be except right there, sitting in my home. On a long dark drive, on these roads every night, in my heart, I'm always heading right back home. I feel home when I see them faces that remember my own. I feel home when I'm chilling outside with some people I know. I feel home, and that's just what I feel. Yeah, my home to me is reality, when all we need is something real. My home, to me, is the only reality that I have left. So when I need something real, I go right back home. I know it's my own, and when I'm away, I gotta break it out.
I don't have a story in particular, but I just wanted to bring up like a moment. I've been trying to think of something powerful or whatever, something that can help let us think of him. The only thing I can think of though is how we would lower the basketball hoops. We would lower the basketball hoops and just do dunk contests, like for hours. And he was like the best at it. And it was crazy. And we would do it at people's houses. We'd do it in his basement. It was like a kid's hoop. And we'd name all the dunks. It was like tomahawk dunk. That's a real one, but we would just make up ones too. And then we'd make challenges too. There would be like, yo, you have to do a spin alley-oop. You have to do that now. And he could always do it. And there were a lot of moments like that. I knew him for very close. I was very close to him for a very short amount of time, but I just think of playing with him and goofing with him. He was so down to play. You know? Any group he was in, he could just make it so much fun because he was so excited just to be with the people around him. And that's what I'm thinking about right now. And if anyone else has anything else they'd like to say, please go ahead. But I'm missing a whole lot. So.
Still my heart and hold my tongue. I feel my time has come. Let me in, unlock the door. I never felt this way before. And the wheels just keep on turning. The drummer begins to drum. I don't know which way I'm going. I don't know which way I've come. Hold my head inside your hands. I need someone who understands. I need someone who hears. For you I've waited all these years. For you I'd wait till kingdom come, until my day is done. And say you'll come and set me free. Just say you'll wait for me.
So I'm thinking of this one story with Corey when it was New Year's and I went to his lake house at Deep Creek Lake. And Billy, wherever you are, accidentally popped a corkscrew in Dean's eye. We were in the middle of nowhere and had to take Dean to the hospital immediately. So Corey, of course, being the nice, amazing person he was and is, he drove Dean in the front seat with, I don't even know, we put like tissue paper all over your eye. I don't know what we did. Laura and I were in the back. And Corey drove the entire time, no questions asked. He was taking care of everything. Everyone was falling asleep, and he was just blasting the music to make sure we'd all stay awake. And I just thought, it just shows how amazing of a person he really is.
So, I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's a massive sewer system that goes through here, like mostly towards Corey's house. And I remember this one fall day, he was just like, "Hey Dan, I got an idea. Let's go in the sewer system." So I was like, damn, Corey, that's a great idea. Why not? And we thought it'd be cooler if we got some girls to go with us, so we did. Leanna Schwartz and Holly Albert, if any of you guys remember them. They came with us. Anyway, so we're in these sewers and we're crawling through them, you know, and we pop out occasionally and like see where we're at, and people would be like, oh, look, it's a guy coming out of the sewer. But what made this different is it started raining, pouring, so water was filling up, flooding, and I was a wuss. Corey always had that, you know, like leadership. He was a strong leader, so the water's filling up. I'm freaking out. I'm like, we don't know where the hell to go. I'm like, hey, we need to get the hell out of here, guys. The girls are laughing. I'm like, what, dude? We got to get the hell out of here. And I'll never forget when the water's coming up. It's probably like up to here to me. I'm freaking out. Corey just comes, gives me a hug, and this like piercing. If I remember correctly, he had blue eyes, like very piercing blue eyes, and he was just like, Dan, it's gonna be okay. He just gave me a massive hug.
I went to high school and college with Corey. We became pretty good friends, I would say sophomore year of high school, and then he actually lived really close to me in college, so we hung out a lot in college, but we kind of lost touch after college. I just want to share a story that doesn't seem like much, but actually, you know, when I heard about the news, it like popped up so vividly in my head that even such a small thing, I just have to tell it. So this was senior year of high school, and I don't have my license yet because my parents were like, you're not getting a license. So, you know, he was like, hey, you know, we're not doing much tomorrow. Do you want to just, like, come back to my house during third period and play poker? And I'm like, well, my parents want me to be cool with it, but, yeah, let's go and do that. So we do that, and it's like 10 o'clock, you know, we're just me and him chilling in his house and playing cards. And then, you know, we get hungry. And then a couple of his friends who I didn't know were like, do you want to go to Brooklyn Deli? So I'm like, well, I've never been, but let's go. So then we're kind of delayed going to Brooklyn Deli. And I'm like, well, Corey, like, I really want to go to Chipotle. And he's like, well, but I have friends meeting up with me. I'm like, okay. But you could tell, like, I was, like, really sad about it. So, yeah, this is when Chipotle at Fallsburg just opened. So it was, like, amazing, okay. So he was like, you know what, like, I can tell, like, he didn't say it, but he's like, you know what, let me call them and see if they're cool with it. And he called them, he's like, guys, like, I really want to go Chipotle, when he didn't really care what he was eating. And he convinced them to all go, and it was just me and him and two of his friends I didn't know eating Chipotle. And that just, for some reason, just something small like that just came to me. It just showed, like, what kind of, like, friend he was. Like, he didn't want to do that, he didn't care about that, but he just did it just to make somebody else happy. And that was the kind of person he was in high school, in college, and that's the kind of person he always did.
Just one quick thing is, you know, a few of us went down to the funeral, and it was the weirdest thing because we showed up about 10 minutes late, and when we walked in, the casket was already there. And anybody who's ever had to meet up Corey before knows that that dude would be late for his own funeral. So that's kind of surprising.
I went to elementary school with Corey. We weren't 100% close. But I remember the day that he walked in second grade, and I remember him stealing all the girls and everyone's attention. Everyone loved to play with his hair. I was a little jealous, I have to admit. But he was a great guy, and through, you know, high school and everything, it was a real pleasure for me to meet him. And you know, I wish I could have seen him. You know, I ran into him about a year ago. And it was good to see him, you know, give him a hug. But I wish I could have seen him and hung out with him more often.
Speaking of lateness, I remember freshman year of high school. At about 3 out of 5 days of the week, Corey would miss the bus. And let me just tell you, the bus stop is right in front of his house.
I wanted to hop on and say something too. I met Corey in second grade. I remember the first day I came to school. Everybody goes, did you see the blonde boy from Texas? He was really blonde. And I didn't really talk to him until like later that day, and I was lucky he picked me as his friend. And every single person in the entire school followed him around, and he followed me around. So everybody followed me around in the end. And we grew up together, you know, we had sleepovers every Friday. We watched every single James Bond movie together. We did so many stupid things together. Talked about girls, girlfriends, you know, everything. I want to tell one particular story in the summer going into 9th grade. It involves egging houses. We were really stupid. Really stupid. So Jordan stops right over there. Corey and I, we decided to go out and we ride our bikes over to Freshco. We buy dozens and dozens and dozens of eggs. And we egged random houses. We were serial eggers. I don't know why, we thought we were really cool. And so we go out and we get lost in this neighborhood. We have no clue where we are. We egged all the houses already. And we had no clue where we were. So we start walking and all of a sudden these car lights turn on. And Corey was so fast. He ran away so quickly. And then I came up to this fence that was about, 8 feet tall. And everybody knows I'm a midget. So I somehow rolled over that thing. And our dear friend Jordan over here, when the guy said stop, he stopped. So I wandered around neighborhoods for about an hour, 2 hours. And eventually I hear, Heath. And it was Corey. He came running out from a bush. He just ran up and hugged me. And eventually, another hour later, we end up making it back to Jordan's house. It's turning light. It's morning. It's like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. And we see Jordan sitting on his driveway. So sad. What happened, Jordan? What happened? I got caught. What? Did you tell them who we were? Yeah, I gave them all of our cell phone numbers. So we went into his house and we grabbed all the cleaning supplies that we possibly could. And we went back and cleaned all the houses, except the one we missed. It was the kid who caught us. It was his friend's parents' house. We had to go back the next day in the afternoon to go clean it. So the kid he's a college kid. He has about 20, 30 friends pull up their cars. We washed all the cars. We ended up scrubbing the house. But guess who got out of this whole thing? Corey. While Jordan and I were scrubbing, he was off with his parents on his boat on a lake. Just to give you some, the guy ended up giving us nicknames. I was ex-Benedict, because I took care of the situation. He didn't tell our parents. Corey was scrambled because he ran away so quickly. And Jordan got caught, so he was over easy.